सुरमापति महादेव की जय, सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। प्रिय भक्तजन, शुभ स्वागतम and welcome to this evening's Sandhya as we join once more again with members of the Charleville Shiva Mandir in the second night of devotion here with our sixth night of Ganesh Ustav celebration. This evening, my dear friends and devotees, as we have already performed our Bedi Puja, worship the Lord Ganesh, as we are about to embark upon a beautiful journey through the holy scriptures. This evening, my dear friends, Karauchai, let us all stand as we join in our opening arti at this time. Om Sajam Chavarti Samyuktim Vahina Yochita Maya Deepagrihana Devasya Trahirukya Timirapaham Yani Tani Japapani Janmahirtatani Cha Tani Tani Vrashanti Prakshana Pradepadim Om Gam Garapate Namaha गणपति की सेवा मंगल मेवा सेवा से सब विघ्न तरे तीन लोक के सकल देवता द्वार परे निज अरज हरे हे सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता देवता है सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता रिद्धि सिद्धि के दक्षिण माला और अनंत से चतुर रे धूप दीप और लिए आरती भक्ति करे जयकार करे हे सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता देवता है सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता मोदक भोग लगे है मोषक वाहन छत्र परे समारोह ले श्री गणपति को विघ्न परे जय दूर बरे हे सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता देवता है सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता गजानन स्वामी की शुक्ल चतुर्थी दीन धूप आपरुण बरे लियो जन्म गणपति प्रभु जी के पार्वती मन आनंद बरे हे सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता देवता है सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता गजवरन विनायक त्रियनंद अनूपर रे परा कुमार ढेक पुत्र से एक चंद्रमा हस्त करे हे सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता देवता है सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता। श्री चंद्रदेव को काल तात श्री काल करे, 14 लोक श्री गणपति को श्री दीन भवन में राज करे। हे सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता, देवता है सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता। ओम गम गणपते नमः। वक्रतुंडा महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा, निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देवा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ओम गं गणपते नमः। My dear friends, devotees and bhaktas, this evening as we wave the sacred lamp of Aarti, we pray to the divine Lord and Master of the universe, Prabhu, through this divine light of divinity, may you remove all darkness in our lives in the form of lust, greed, anger and hatred. And may this light of divinity fill our lives, our mandir, our homes, our community, our country and the world at large with peace, with love, with harmony and unity. My dear friends, devotees and bhaktas, this evening as we gather once more again for yet another most beautiful evening of Pravachan, Katha, glories to Lord Ganesh within this auspicious period of the Ganesh Ustav, let us take this opportunity to glorify, to sing, to worship Lord Ganesha. Jai Jai Ganesha, Jai Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Gananatha. Jai Jai Ganesha, Jai Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Gananatha. गौरी पुत्र विघ्ना हरता, गौरी पुत्र विघ्ना हरता, देवा हो देवा, देवा हो देवा, देवा हो देवा गणपति देवा। जय जय गणेश, जय जय गणेश, जय गणेश गणनाथा। लंबोदर हे विघ्ना हरता, लंबोदर हे विघ्ना हरता, देवा हो देवा, देवा हो देवा, देवा हो देवा गणपति देवा। जय जय गणेश, जय जय गणेश, जय गणेश गणनाथा। जय जय गणेश, जय जय गणेश, जय गणेश गणनाथा। गणनाथा बाबा गणनाथा, गणनाथा बाबा गणनाथा। गणपति की सेवा मंगलमेवा, सेवा से सब विघ्न तरे। तीन लोक के सकल देवता, द्वार पड़े निजर जहरी। हे सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता, देवता है सुख करता गजानन है दुख हरता। बोले गजानन स्वामी की, गणपति बाबा मंगल मूर्ति। You may have your respectful seats this evening. Once more again we say Shubh Swagatam and welcome to yet another night of devotion. We say Swagatam and welcome to Bhai Kishan Ji and of course Media Concepts 29 for streaming our devotion live this evening via social media. Special swagatam and welcome as well to Bhakti TV joining with us this evening. And also we say swagatam and welcome to all of our listeners via the airwaves of 103.1 FM. We say special thank you as well to all of the corporate sponsors for making this broadcast possible. My dear devotees and bhaktas, at this point in time before we continue with Katha, let us all sit upright. Let us clasp our hands and bow our heads. Let us close the physical eyes as we join in pratna and pray to the feet of Lord Ganesh. He is Pratham Deva Puja, the first deity to be worshipped. He is Mangala Murti Moria, the Lord of auspiciousness. He is that one who removes all obstacles in our path and bestows the blessing of success. As we pray for a successful satsang this evening, we offer salutations to Lord Ganesh. Om Hari Om Hari Om Hari Om. He Ram, He Ram, He Ram, हमें दया करो. श्री गणेशाय नमः. ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमो नमः. ओम श्री गुरु चरण कमलेभ्यो नमो नमः. श्री गोविंदाय नमो नमः. वक्रतुंडा महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा. ओम गजाननं भूतगणारिसेवितं कपितजम्बूफलसारभक्षितम् उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारकं नमामि विघ्नेश्वरपादपङ्कजम्. ॐ गं गणपते नमः. Everybody together. ॐ गं गणपते नमः. ॐ गं गणपते नमः. श्री गणेशाय नमः. गणपति गणेश को, गणपति गणेश को, उमापति महेश को मेरा ही प्रणाम है, मेरा ही प्रणाम है. गणपति गणेश को, गणपति गणेश को, उमापति महेश को मेरा ही प्रणाम है, मेरा ही प्रणाम है. शंकर बोले बाबा को, शंकर बोले बाबा को, डमरू बजाने वाले को मेरा ही प्रणाम है, मेरा ही प्रणाम है, मेरा ही प्रणाम है. प्रभु, we offer our pranams to your lotus-like feet. Swagatam Ganesha, Swagatam. Welcome Prabhu as we honor your lotus-like feet. This evening, my dear friends, we don't only honor Bhagwan Ganapati in the Murat, in the form of the Murti, upon the altar, but this evening we say Swagatam Ganesh, Swagatam. Welcome into my life, Bhagwan. Today I want you to become part of my life. I want you to become part of my daily routine. I want you, O Lord, to guide me through this journey of life. My dear friends and devotees, The beautiful bhajan says, Bhau sagar mein jeevan naya ram lagawat apar. The only one to ferry the boat of life across the ocean of mundane existence is Bhagwan, is God. This evening, let us take the opportunity to welcome Lord Ganesh into our lives, to remove our obstacles and to guide us, my dear friends, through this journey of life. Mera hi pranam hai Bhagwan, my humble pranam to your lotus like feet. गणपति गणेश को उमापति महेश को मेरा ही प्रणाम है, मेरा ही प्रणाम है. We offer salutations to Lord Krishna, the divine Lord and Master of the universe. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Bole Shri Gajanan Swami ki jai. My dear friends and devotees, yesterday we would have terminated our Katham Pravachan very beautifully from the golden pages of the Shri Ganesh Upasana. This evening, Lord Ganapati, Lord Ganesh, as we all would have heard the Katha in one of our previous nights, where he was given a shrap that he will not be wedded to one कथा करनी के करनी सूक्ष्म करहि संदेहा सूक्ष्म करहि संदेहा जय गणेश जय गणेश देव ओ जय गणेश देव He's looking at what is taking place. He is disappointed at what he does. He says, if all of the devas, they are going to be wedded and I'm not going to be wedded, then he called Moshe. He says, Moshe, I'm sure that you have friends and I'm sure that you can create some sort of havoc. I'm sure that you could do something. So Moshe, my dear friends, he gathers his friends together. And Moshe tells to all of the other Mosheks, I want you to go. And as the Bharat leaves and they are going to the home of the Dulahin, on the way to that wedding procession, I want you to dig up the whole road. I want you to create holes. And whilst the Mosheks are doing such, my dear friends, and the chariot is passing by, Jai Shri Ram, one of the chariot wheels goes down in the hole. The wedding chariot now is wrecked. And so all of the weddings, these similar things are taking place. The Mosheks are going, they are tearing up the clothing and so forth. And Lord Ganesh is looking at what is taking place and he's laughing. The devas, they are worried, they are angry because they are making so many preparations for their wedding. And this is what will happen. My dear friends and devotees, Katha tells to us this. Imagine you going in a wedding, but you don't have to imagine that. Because in Trinidad we have some roads. Jai Bhagwan. If you come down my area, when you reach by the temple, if you are watching where you're going, your boss your tire. Jai Shri Ram. So you don't have to imagine, we have it live and direct in some parts of Trinidad. But dear friends and devotees, Lord Ganesh, the Moshak is creating so many problems and the Devas doesn't know what to do. So the Devas, my dear friends, they say, if the problem is Lord Ganesh wants to be wedded, then so it shall be. But they are wondering, what should we do? Jai Shri Ram. What should we do? So the Devas began to pray to Brahmaji. Why Brahma? Because Brahma, my dear friends and devotees, is the creator. They began to pray to Brahma, Prabhu, may you listen to our prayer. Ganesh Baba and his Moshak is creating a lot of havoc and problems in the part of the wedding ceremony. So Moshak, we would like this Moshak, my dear Prabhu, to of course stop all of these problems. And Bhagavan, we would like if you could create someone for Ganesh to be wedded to. Ganesh Baba, Bhagavan, he wants to be wedded and this is the whole problem. Jai Shri Ram. You know, sometimes you hear some parents talk and they say, Baba, well, my son wants to be married. And if he wants to get married, well then, can you find a dulahin for him? Jai Bhagwan. This is one Baba I find it no dulahin for nobody. My dear friends and devotees, they pray to Brahmaji. So when you want a dulahin, who you should pray to? Pray to Bhagwan Amir. Jai Shri Ram. Otherwise, my dear friends and devotees, they are praying to Brahmaji. Brahmaji is listening to the prayer of the Devas. And whilst they listen to the prayer of the Devas, my dear friends and devotees, we listen to what takes place through the medium of Katha this evening. Sri Ganesh Sharanam Mama, Sri Ganesh Sharanam Mama, Sri Ganesh Sharanam Mama, Bolo Sri Ganesh Sharanam Mama, Sri Ganesh Brahma ji, my dear friends, he listens to the prayer of the Devas. And while listening to the prayer of the Devas, Brahma ji, he begins to create two beings, two Devis, my dear friends. And while he creates these two Devis, Bhaktas and devotees, Brahma, he tells to the Devas, O Devas, have no fear and do not worry. Whatever problems you are facing, it shall be over shortly. My dear friends and devotees, what Katha is teaching us this evening is that whenever we have problems in life, who should we take our problems to? Sometimes in life, my dear friends, when we have problems, we take our problems to the neighbor. We take our problems to our friends. We take our problems to everybody else. And then when you walk on the road and you reach by Medford, everybody else know your problem. Jai Shri Ram. When you have problems, my dear friends, who should you take it to? Take it to God. Take your problems to Bhagwan, my dear friends. Take your problems to the feet of the Divine Lord and Master of the Universe. Only God, my dear friends and devotees, can lift you out of your problems. So this evening, the Devas have took their problem to Brahmaji. And Brahma says, Devas, have no fear. All shall be well. And whilst, my dear friends and devotees, Brahma creates these two Devis, he sends them upon the loka of Kailash Parvat. And the Devis arriving there, Bhagwan Shiva, he realizes that this is the Mahamaya, this is the work of Brahmaji. And what takes place? Katha tells to us. Mandata ko putra kausha Dharmani Shesharata Raja Shankar Nishacharata Danuta Ke Naam Bhava Sri Ganesh Sri Ganesh Mama Sri Ganesh Mama Sri Ganesh Mama Sri Ganesh Sharanam Mama Sri Ganesh Sharanam Mama Sri Ganesh Sharanam Mama Bolo Sri Ganesh Sharanam Mama Bolo Sri Ganesh Sharanam Mama Prabhu Sri Ganesh Sharanam Bole Sri Ganesh Bhagavan Ki Jai Sharanam. My dear friends, devotees and bhaktas, Bhagwan Shri Ganapati sitting in Kailash Parvat, he is worried, he is looking at what is taking place, but he doesn't know the Maya, the work of Lord Shri Brahmaji. Bhagwan Shankar, my dear friends and devotees, seeing these two beings, he knows that these are the creation of Brahmaji, and he knows what is the Leela that is about to take place. And why is these two Devis? They are placed in the hands of Bhagwan Shri Vishnu. Bhagwan Shankar tells the Lord Ganesh, Ganesh, if you want to be wedded, then certainly you shall be wedded. There are two Devis by the name of Riddhi and Siddhi, and you shall be wedded to these two. My dear friends and devotees, Ganesh Baba was most happy. Imagine you hear that you are going to get married. What would happen there? Nirmal? Jai Bhagwan. Ganesh Baba was so happy that he is going to be wedded, my dear friends, to Riddhi and Siddhi. Preparations, my dear friends and devotees, are being made. And why these preparations were made, my dear devotees and bhaktas? The devas, they are gathering together. And whilst they are gathering, my dear devotees, they are gathering for this beautiful ceremony. Lord Ganesh is beautifully besmeared with a hardi. Before someone becomes married, my dear friends and devotees, we perform what ceremony? The Matikur ceremony. The ceremony where, of course, the hardi is besmeared on the skin. And whilst they are performing the hardi ceremony, my dear friends and devotees, we join in a beautiful bhajan, glorifying Lord Shri Ganesh. This evening we are very blessed and privileged, of course, to have our beloved Mataji Ramraji Prabhu join with us again this evening. And so I invite her to lead us in a beautiful bhajan whilst this beautiful ceremony is taking place. Bole Ganesh Bhagavan ki.
वरदान दया तर पाओ साले काम सुनो बिनती यज वरदान दया तर पाओ साले काम सुनो बिनती मोरे प्रभु कौन खवाओ प्रात समय मुख मंजन करके प्रेम सहित प्रभु कौन खवाओ एक बूंदे चनया एक बूंदे चनया अमृत दे करे
Gajanan Swami Ki Jai. Performing the Riddhi ceremony and of course joining together, chanting and worshipping the divine, preparing, receiving the darshan of Bhagwan. Before a wedding ceremony, my dear friends, I will perform the Riddhi ceremony. We also perform what puja? We also perform puja to whom? To Ganesh Gaudi, to Ganesh Baba and to Gauri Maya. We perform puja and receive the blessings of the Devis and the Devatas before embarking upon any of these samskars. And any one of our 16 samskars that we are about to perform, for us as devotees, one of the major puja that we should perform is who puja? Krishna Bhagwan puja also. And once we worship Bhagwan Shri Krishna, my dear friends, at every samskar, we receive that blessing and darshan of the Divine Lord. My dear friends and devotees, that day came when Lord Shri Ganesh is about to leave to be wedded to Riddhi and Siddhi. And whilst they are journeying, my dear friends and devotees, a beautiful procession, all of the devas, they are worshipping, they are singing praises to Lord Ganesh. Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. They are singing victory to Lord Ganesh. Jai Jai Ganesha, Jai Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Gananatha, Jai Jai Ganesha, Jai Jai Ganesha,
Jai Jai Ganesha Gananatha,
Jai Jai Ganesha, Jai Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Gananatha, Jai Jai Ganesha, Jai Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Gananatha. Vignaharata Deva Ho Deva, Deva Ho Deva, Deva Ho Deva, Ganapati Deva. Jai Jai Ganesha, Jai Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Gananatha. While Lord Ganesh, my dear friends, they are going in a beautiful procession. All of the devas, they are praying, they are singing praises to Lord Ganesh. Oh Ganesh, from today you are going to be wedded. You are going to be wedded to Riddhi and Siddhi. Who is Riddhi and Siddhi, my dear friends? Kathaka Swasi Siddhi. Gauri Putra Vignaharata, Gauri Putra Vignaharata, Deva Ho Deva, Deva Ho Deva, Deva Ho Deva, Ganapati Deva. Jai Jai Ganesha, Jai Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Gananatha, Jai Jai Ganesha, Jai Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha Gananatha, Gananatha Baba Gananatha, Gananatha Baba Gananatha. Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. Bore Ganesh Bhagwan ki. Lord Ganesh, my dear friends, he finally arrived to that mandap. And arriving to the mandap, my dear friends, the Dwar Puja is performed. When we perform the wedding ceremony, President Ji, remember that day? Oh Jai Bhagwan, poor fellow was frightened. You perform the Dwar Puja, the entrance. Why do we perform Dwar Puja? As a welcoming ceremony. And then after he entered into the mandap and all of the rituals are performed, and once the rituals and the puja is performed, my dear friends, the exchange of the sindur is performed, the Mangal Sutra Dan is performed. And once the exchange is sindur, the sindur represents what? We remind ourselves this evening. Sindur represents commitment. So when you offer the sindur upon the mound of Idulahin, you are committed to that person. Likewise, when we offer Sindur and Puja, we remain committed to the feet of God. The Mangal Sutra is offered, and why do we offer the Mangal Sutra? Many people wear Mangal Sutra because they see the neighbor buying 14 carats, so I want 22 carats. And some of them are even doing the Mangal Sutra, they say Mangal Sutram. Say, the Mangal Sutra, sometimes we don't even know the significance. We buy one that have blue bead because it looks nice. But that is not a Mangal Sutra. A Mangal Sutra, my dear friends, have black beads and gold, my dear friends. Why black beads and the gold? The gold piece, you know the gold piece that you see underneath? Very beautifully made into different patterns. The black beads, my dear friends, represent Bhagwan Shankar, Lord Shiva. Whilst the gold, my dear friends, in that very chain, or which we call a mala, represents Bhagwan, Devi Mata, in the form of Parvati Ma. So when you wear the Mangal Sutra, my dear friends, your wedding, your marriage is blessed with the darshan of Lord Shiva and Devi Parvati. Hence the reason, my dear friends and devotees, where you will place the rice and the bera, how do we call that? The kohobar. We put a picture of whom. Sometimes you do a drawing of a dulahan, dulahin. And sometimes you put a picture of Sri Krishna and Radha Devi, Sri Ram and Sita Maya. Or we'll put a beautiful picture of Lord Shiva and Parvati exchanging the malas. Praying that may your wedding be as blissful as these. And so the exchange of the Mangal Sutra takes place. After you do this, my dear friends, or just before, something very important we do. And this wasn't done as now in the age of the Devas, but I choose to sneak this into our katha to remind everyone joining with us this evening about your marriage vows. How many of you could remember your marriage vows? President Ji? Jai Bhagwan. I think I should have printed this evening and distribute one for everybody, isn't that so? So I remind everybody of the marriage vows as this beautiful Vivaha Samskar takes place. And for the young ones like Amir and them, listen carefully to what you get yourself into. My dear friends and devotees, when you're becoming wedded, the marriage vows is exchanged. And the Dulahin, my dear friends and devotees, and in this case Riddhi and Siddhi, they are asking for 7 conditions. And what are these 7 conditions, they say? I hereby place my life at your feet, my Lord, that I will dwell in dharma and maintain our traditions. And today, I ask for these 7 conditions. If at any time you have to do yajna, attend religious ceremony, or go on pilgrimage, I desire that you ask and obtain my permission. Jai Shri Ram. I ask as well, Prabhu, that I may be able to accompany you. So when you're coming to the mandir, the Dulahin is supposed to accompany you. This is one of the vows that she had asked on the day of the wedding. The second, she says, if at any time you desire to do Pitri Yajna, worship to the ancestors, I desire to be asked to join in such devotions. My dear friends, when Pitri Yajna, when Pitri worship is being done, your Dulahin has all rights. If you are not there, she could perform the rituals. Remember in Ramayana? When Ram wasn't there, my dear friends, to perform the Pinda Puja for Raja Dasrath, who did it? Sita Maya did it. The third, she says, if at any time my parents face dishonor, poverty, or illness, you as my husband are expected to render assistance to relieve their distress. The fourth, she says, if at any time you desire to serve our community, build a mandir, or involve in religious or social service, I ask that I shall be allowed to join in such activities. The fifth, my dear friends, if at any time you may have to leave our home to go abroad on business or pleasure, I must have the assurance that our welfare at home will be secured, and I also insist that my prior consent be asked and obtained. The sixth, my dear friends, she says, if at any time you are to make gifts, lend or borrow, lend or borrow, I request that my consent be asked and obtained. How much Mahaprabhu you thinking? And the seventh, you are to be the God of our home. And I ask you now that our love and affection shall grow and mature as we advance in age. That you do not allow the remarks and observation of the unworthy and the dishonorable people to cause strife between us. And I do not want you to speak harshly and angrily to me when we are in the company of family and friends. As today, by the sacred fire, the invocation of the mantras, the blessing of the gurus, our love, my dear friends, shall grow together until our Creator please to take us back. So these are the 7 vows that the Dulahin asked. How many Dulaha can remember these 7 vows were asked on that day? And how many Dulahin could remember any of this where it was just frightened and just wanted to get married? So the Dulahin asked for 7, and now the Dulaha says, well, it is my turn. And he asked only for 5. You see this advantage right here and then? Jai Bhagwan. The Dulaha says, the promise of my consent, I ask of you today that I will upkeep these 7 conditions, but I ask of you to keep these 5 conditions. You shall conduct yourself in society and at home in such a manner that you will never bring disgrace or dishonor to our family name. 2, in my absence, you are expected to accommodate, entertain our friends, our families to our home according to our dharma and our social standards. That was before COVID, eh? Now with COVID, Jai Bhagwan. 3, he says, should there be a domestic friction between us, you must never bear this in mind, because such differences are common in every home. It is either a curse or a blessing that exists in every home. Therefore, you must not leave our home on such differences, and such actions on your part may bring about public scandal and shame, and such shame can bring about, my dear friends, disunity in the home and separation. And separation is not a part of the law of our dharma and our domestic history of our forefathers. That is so true. In the days of our forefathers, it had nothing like divorce. If you're married and you get licks and you go back home by your father, just as you come, Jai Bhagwan, you're going back up the road. You have to make things good. Isn't that so? The 4th, he says, you are to be punctual, careful, responsible, regular in your domestic duties, so that no inconvenience are to be done to me, and you are to be the goddess of our home. You know what this means, my dear friends? You are to be punctual, you are to be careful, responsible, and regular to your domestic duties. You know what I mean? 4 o'clock in the morning, hot sala, roti and fry aloo. Lunchtime, Jai Bhagwan Kitri. In the evening, Baihan Choka and Big. Jai Bhagwan. Hara Hara Mahadev. Punctual in your duties. Today we see what the tables have turned. The 5th and final, he says, today by the grace and the blessing of the Devas, I hope to share a comfortable home with you, but should any problems arise, you are expected to share them with me. And likewise, if any problems arise in my life, I shall share them with you. For my discomfort shall be yours, and my poverty shall be yours. And I promise you that I will love and cherish you, and work for the welfare of our home, and you are expected to do likewise. If ever I can no longer work for the welfare of our home due to illness, you should assist me. So, the Dulahin will agree to these conditions. Agreeing to this, my dear friends, the malas are exchanged. And once the malas are exchanged, we join together. Siyadhane Rama Gara Jai Mala, Siyadhane Rama Gara Jai Mala. Siyadhane Rama Gara Jai Mala, Siyadhane Rama Gara Jai Mala. The Devas, my dear friends, they are great joy as Lord Ganesh has now become wedded. And why they are so happy? Because now they two can be married comfortably without any holes in the road and without any kurta or any clothes and holding it from the motion. The Devas are so happy that they are ushering rise on Lord Ganesh. And so, chanting, glorifying, they are about to leave for Kailash Parvat. We join as we chant. As the Bharat leaves the home of the Devis, they are now going to Kailash Parvat. And once they are going to Kailash, Devi Parvati is waiting there. She is waiting for the beautiful Aarti. She is waiting to welcome the Devis because they are now going to become the daughters of Kailash. And once they are waiting, my dear friends and devotees, they are glorifying. They are singing praises. They in Kailash, and Kailash is the home of whom? Lord Shiva. And once they are over there, my dear friends, and once they are singing, and once they are glorifying the divine, and once they all are anxiously waiting to see Riddhi and Siddhi. When you go to wedding, my dear friends and devotees, and you're waiting for the wedding to return, what you're really waiting to see? The Dulahin. But the old ladies say, come, never see the Dulahin they wait. Isn't that so? Nowadays, we're going to see the wedding come back with limousine and what refreshments it have, what the Dulaha wearing and the clothes of the day, Jai Bhagwan. But long ago, this is the ancient days, they are waiting to greet the Dulahin, to welcome the Dulahin. They are singing, they are glorifying. Baba na ave jai, Baba na ave jai, Ora Madalaka Baba Nawari. Ora Madalaka Baba Nawari, Ora Madalaka Baba Nawari, Baba na ave jai, Baba na ave jai, Ora Madalaka Baba Nawari. Devas are waiting, and whilst the procession is coming, the heavens, my dear friends, burst open, and of course flowers have been ushered by the Devas. The sound of the bells, the sharp, the ganta, victory is being sound, my dear friends, the Devas. Amadeva Banavatu Shara Hatava. Amadeva Banavatu Shara Hatava. Ora Madalaka You're looking for Auntie Ramraji to come and sing? Lord Ganesh is so blessed and he has blessed us this evening that we are talking about his wedding, and he invited Auntie Ramraji to come and sing for us this evening. So we are very blessed and privileged to join these beautiful bhajans as we of course celebrate Ganesh Ustav and we celebrate the beautiful wedding of Ganesh Baba. Bole Gajanan Swami ki! My dear friends and devotees, Lord Ganesh finally reaches to Kailash Parvat. And upon reaching to Kailash Parvat, Devi Parvati Mata is waiting there at Aarti. And she takes a little loya, you know, little loya this thing, and she throws it in the various directions. Have you ever wondered why? I remember one day at the mandir, Ishan told me he went to do a photography at a wedding. And while I was looking to get the best shot of the Dulahan Dulahin, one lawyer hit him in the head practice. Jai Bhagwan. Hara Hara Mahadev. These little loya that is spelled, my dear friends, in the various directions, is to ward off any negative energy that may have come with the wedding ceremony. But that, of course, at Bharat on that day, to the home, my dear friends. Remember, that day is a day of auspiciousness. That is an auspicious day in your life. A day that you will never forget. Isn't that so? You know, one day a fella told me, he said, Baba, I will never forget my wedding day. I said, yes, I can imagine. It was so beautiful. He said, Baba, that is the day I signed my death warrant. I said, Hara Hara Mahadev. Stop crying. Jai Bhagwan. My dear friends and devotees, arriving to Kailash Parvat, Devi Mata welcoming Riddhi and Siddhi. They all are now sitting on the throne and all of the devas, they are coming. When you reach back with the Bharat, what has happened? Tanti come to Parchi and she gave you $100. Everybody's coming and they are giving gifts to Riddhi, to Siddhi, to Ganesh Baba. And whilst they are doing so, my dear friends and devotees, Riddhi sits on one side and Siddhi sits on the opposite side. Who is Riddhi and Siddhi? They are the creation of Brahma. But what do they represent? We understood one night in Katha, what does Ganesh Baba represent? But what does Riddhi and Siddhi represent? Riddhi represents wealth. Riddhi represents prosperity, my dear friends. And Siddhi Devi, when we worship Ganesh Baba, Siddhi represents intellect, my dear friends. She is also the representation of spiritual blessings. blessings of Siddhi, my dear friends, we gain the blessing to travel this spiritual path of life. Bhagwan Shiva, he looks at Ganesh and he says, "O Ganapati Baba, whomsoever may worship you will not only receive your blessing, but also the blessing of Riddhi and Siddhi." This is why sometimes when we go to Ganesh Ustav celebration, we see the Ganesh Baba Murti, and we also see two ladies on the opposite side. They are Riddhi and Siddhi, my dear friends. So when we worship Lord Ganesh, our obstacles are removed, our trials, tribulations. We are blessed with success from Ganapati Baba. We are blessed with prosperity. We are blessed with wealth from Riddhi Ma. And from Siddhi Devi, we are blessed with intellectual knowledge. And of course, we are blessed with that knowledge and that blessing to tread the spiritual path of Sanatana Dharma. As they sit, my dear friends, beautifully there, and as everyone is ushering them, my dear friends and devotees, before we join in our 108 offerings and the offering of our coconut, let us glorify as the devas. They are happy, they are glorifying Lord Ganesh. Ganesh tore asana poolan ki har, Raja tore asana poolan ki har, poolan ki har saya poolan ki har, poolan ki har saya poolan ki har, Raja tore asana poolan ki har. She says, Ganesh, you look like a Raja today sitting there on that throne. And certainly, we honor you as a Raja. And once they honor him as a Raja, we invite them to round the tree to lead us in this beautiful moment. Swami ki, Ganapati Bappa, Mangala Murti. Dear friends and devotees, terminating our pravachana katha this evening, let us all sit upright as we join in 108 offerings to Lord Shri Ganesh and we chant Om Gam Ganapati Namaha. Om Sarva Papaharam Divyam Gangayam Nirmalam Jalam Achmanyam Mayaratam Grihanam Parameshwaram. Om Ekarantaye Vidmahi Vakratundaye Dhimahi Tando Danti Prachodayata. Together. Om Gam Ganapate Namaha Swaha. 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 Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. 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 Om Gam Ganapati 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 Namaha. Om Sarvebhyo Devebhyo Namaha. Sarvebhyo Devtabhyo Namaha. Sarvebhyo Brahmanebhyo Namaha. Swaha. Karabu jaye. Please stand as we join our final Purna Mahuti offering. Om Purnamida Purnamidam Purnata Purnamurachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Sarvam Ve Purnavam Shanti Swaha. Arpan. We offer Achman at this time. Papaham Papa Karamaham Papatma Sambhava Trahimam Pundarikaksho Sarva Papa Haro Hari. Let us stand quiet in various directions. Varaspati Rasuna Bhutoyo Ganyu Ganyu Namaha Agrahan Sarvadevanam Rupam Samarpayami. Let us all take blessings. Ochasi Ochasi Mohidehi Balamasi Balamasi Mohidehi Rupam Samarpayami. Pure Gajanan Swami ki Satya Sanatan Dharma ki. At this time we hold coconut as we pray to Lord Ganesh. Gam 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 Ganapati Gam 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 Ganapati Gam 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 Ganapati Namo Namah Sri Siddhi Vinayaka Namo Namah Ashta wish to go and perform Arti, you can do so at this time, receiving the blessing of Lord Ganesh. Before entering the stage, the President will sanitize your hands with the sanitizer, and then of course you will proceed to offer your Arti to Lord Shri Ganesha. सेवा से सब विघ्न टरे तीन लोक के सकल देवता द्वार पर निज अर्ज करे हे सुख करता join in Pratna and pray. This evening as we join in prayer, we take the opportunity to send special blessings to all those joining with us this evening here at the Mandir, to our Shrota, to all those who have helped to prepare for this evening's Sandhya. Bhagwan's blessings to you. We also take the opportunity to say a special thank you to Bhai Kishan Ji and of course Media Concept for streaming our satsang this evening live via social media. Special thank you as well to Bhakti TV for joining with us this evening. We also take the opportunity this evening as we offer prayer to say a special thank you to, of course, all the sponsors who have made this broadcast possible through the airwaves of 103.1 FM. May Bhagwan richly bless the management and staff of 103.1 FM and all of the corporate sponsors for making this program possible this evening. My dear friends and devotees, we surrender once more to the feet of Lord Shri Ganesha. Om Mantrahinam Kriyahinam Bhaktihinam Chararanam Yad Pujitam Maya Deva Paripurnam Tarasrami Kahena Vacha Manasindreva Mudyatmanava Prakatim Subhautam Karomi Yakya Sakalam Parashme Narayanayate Samarapayami. Together. Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhu Cha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Hari Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. With hands clasped together, turn to the person next to you to say Sitaram. Shakabaraka Hore Sitaram. Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram. This evening, my dear friends and devotees, as we say Sitaram, we say that I bow to the divinity within you. I see God within you, for God is here, there, and everywhere. And that spark of divinity resides in each and every one of us. Shivoham, Shivoham. Sitaram, 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 Sitaram. You may have your respectful seats. Arti, Prasad, and Chamit will come your way. At this point in time, whilst these things come your way, we join in our bhajan. Of course, please do, of course, take the opportunity this evening, my dear friends and devotees, to come and to offer to Lord Ganesh and to receive the blessings of Ganapati Baba this evening if you didn't get that opportunity already.
One, two, one.
Nice one here. Nice. A nice from the center.
कौन सवेरा बखाने, कौन सवेरा बखाने, राधे राधे, कौन सवेरा बखाने, राधे राधे, कौन सवेरा बखाने, कौन सवेरा गोत्र काम चंद्रमुख मोहे गोत्र काम चंद्रमुख मोहे सकल गुण के ताने गाते कौने सवे आज जन्म लिया शिव ब्रह्मास्त्र से ध्यान करे आज से
जय भगवान ओम नमः शिवाय जय भगवान हर हर महादेव